Yo, PC fam, happy Saturday. Welcome to another episode of Chill with Chill. I'm Big Ox, my main man Chill in the building. How's it going? How you doing, Chill?
I'm actually feeling really good, Ox. We had a bit of a revelation last night. Last night,
Okay.
me and Big Ox and the crew, we did playback, and not only did we do playback, we got on with Gil and his boys, and it was
Mm.
dope. Oh, it was so dope to get on with them dudes, man, and chop it up with them. And it was a revelation for me because I found out that it's like going to the park and you ain't really sure about this park because there's a whole bunch of ballers there, but you go there and you realize, I'm nice like him. I can rock like
Right.
that. I can hold my own with these dudes, and that's what I found out last night. That we got the goods, yo. That was a dope stream last night to chop it up with them dudes and find out where we are. And I feel like we can stand in the ring with anybody when it comes to this stuff. I think we can.
Yeah, I definitely had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It was real cool. Man, Rashad's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Man, it was a good time, and I'm happy we got to do that, and I look forward to more collabs in the future. Man,
I do
definitely
too.
do.
I do too.
Um,
That was dope. Mm-hmm.
and over here at PC, we got a lot of big things going on.
Mm-hmm.
From what we did in Indianapolis, dropped that parlay that was super dope.
Mm-hmm.
And then next month is gonna be even more. We got a lot coming next month. So man, y'all stay tuned, stay tapped in, and just keep watching, man. We're always trying to get better for y'all, and we working on our craft, man.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes, we are.
So chill. Speaking of playback,
Mm-hmm.
we were on playback for a specific reason. Now it was dope to be on there with Gil, with Rashad, obviously, like we said.
So
But
dope.
the main reason we were there is to watch basketball.
Yes, we were.
And what did you see from the main game that we went up there to watch last night?
So we went up there to watch the Knicks in Oklahoma City, and it was very underwhelming, garbage to say the least, because the Knicks did almost everything wrong, and Oklahoma City did almost everything right. And last night was a weird night considering the teams that, and we'll get to the other teams, but last night in particular, they didn't put any pressure, I don't think, on SGA. He got downhill whenever he wanted. He got to the rim whenever he wanted. There was really no pressure on him at the rim. I think Oklahoma City took advantage of the Knicks' lack of rim pressure, of their lack of rim defense. So SGA got downhill whenever he wanted. Isaiah Joe comes in the game and he's backdooring them to death because they don't have anybody at the rim to protect the rim. And with that, it just snowballs from there. The Knicks transition defense, they couldn't find anybody in transition. They couldn't find Shea in transition. They couldn't find Isaiah Joe. They couldn't find Cason Wallace. And on top of that, they find themselves in the hole, not being able to find these guys in transition. And they couldn't score. They couldn't get anything done because Oklahoma City's defense was just so good. And when I say so good, Ox, I'm talking about they flying around, shooting gaps, the way that they communicate. I can't say enough about Cason Wallace. I know I speak a lot about Cason Wallace, but Cason Wallace and Aaron Wiggins. Cason Wallace and Aaron Wiggins, those are the two guys that I really pay attention to. I already know who Lou Dort is. I know who Lou Dort is as a defender. I know that the Dortcher chamber is a place that you do not want to be. I know that for a fact. I know what Isaiah Hartenstein brings as a glass cleaner and as a paint presence. But he didn't have to fight last night with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. He didn't have to fight with them two guys last night. He had to deal with Cat. And it seemed like he kind of had his way with that guy more than with those other two guys. And I just thought that the Knicks' effort was lackluster. I thought that they thought that Oklahoma City was going to come in there and the bright lights were gonna blind them. Only except it didn't, Knox. And I wouldn't be concerned with this game. I would not be concerned with this game if it was they lost to the Knicks or the Knicks lost to Oklahoma City. I don't know. Let's say they lost to them in the first week of December or the last week of November. Ox, they just played them a week ago. Literally a week ago, they played them. So for them to come into your building and completely dismantle you like that, what does that say to me about the Knicks? It says to me about the Knicks, Ox, they ain't close. They not.
Oh,
I don't think
really?
they're close. I don't think they're close, Ox. Nope.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I mean they're definitely further. They look. I'll say last night they looked a lot further than a lot further away than I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say with full confidence that I think they're not close, but last night they OKC made them look like not the JV squad. They made them look like the freshman squad.
The freshman squad. That's exactly
Right.
what they look like, Ox. Anything that they wanted, they could get. And when I say Ox, when I say not close, I mean when we're talking about winning it, because that's what this crew got together to do. This crew didn't get together to make the playoffs, Ox. This crew didn't get together to make the semifinals. Okay, we did that last year. All the changes that they made with OG and Mikal Bridges and Cat, they brought this crew together because they want to play in June. And when you test yourself against the better teams in the league, like this team that came into your building last night, you literally played them a week ago today. They were in your building a week ago today, and they come into your building and they stomp you like they did. The effort that you gave, that's unacceptable. And it tells me that they're not close. Ox, you and me talked a lot about Tibbs's rotation. I don't know if you remember this, Ox, but let's see. Miles McBride, Cameron Payne, and Precious Achua. 10 minutes between all three of them. 2 minutes for McBride, 6 minutes for Precious, and 2 minutes for Cameron Payne. Tibbs does not have any patience with you on the floor as a rotation guy. When you come in the game, you better do something and you better do it quick. Otherwise, you will be sitting over here for the rest of the night. 100% you will. And I think that's a recipe for disaster off the strength that Ox, I know that in this area as a rotation player, it's my job to spark. It is my job to get going immediately. All right, I get that part. No problem. However, there are guys who they do other things besides score. They do other things besides rebound. They do other things. But whatever it is that you do, when you come off the bench, Deuce McBride is a bucket getter. When you come in the game, that's your job. Cameron Payne, take care of the basketball and defend. That's your job. If you're not doing it, you got to come sit over here. You have to come sit down. Yeah,
definitely. One thing that what stuck out like a sore thumb last night is the starting wings from the New York Knicks, meaning Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. Mikal Bridges played 32 minutes. OG Anunoby played 36 minutes.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges was 0 for 9 from field goal, 0 for 7 from three-point range. So he had 0 points, 0 blocks, 0 steals, 1 rebound, and 2 assists.
Are you telling me this is what I got from him?
That's what you got from him. 0 points, what I got from him. 0 points, 0 blocks, 0 steals, 2 assists, 1 rebound. 1 foul, 0 turnovers. So he did absolutely nothing.
So I did get 1 foul, but okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. OG Anunoby, 4 points, 0 blocks, 0 steals, 2 turnovers, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 0 for 5 from 3 range, and 2 for 8 field goals. Neither one of them got to the free throw line. Neither one of them made any impact on the basketball game at all. No, zero impact. Zero, absolutely zero. It's not like they were playing any type of lockdown defense, because you can see here where, Jalen Williams had 19, SGA had 39, Isaiah Joe had 31. So these dudes gave you absolutely nothing. Like I can't. There's no way you could sugarcoat it.
And for those of you now, the box score that Ox just ran off, whenever you hear somebody says it's way worse than that, it was way worse than that. Just so you guys know, when Ox ran off the box score about Mikal Bridges' OFA and how ineffective from the box score that OG Anunoby, no, it was way worse than that. These guys weren't communicating. These guys weren't switching. These guys weren't defending. Oklahoma City got whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. Backdoor cuts all day long. I watched Isaiah Joe, 2 of them in a row, Ox. 2 backdoor cuts in a row. Josh Hart not rotating. Not only Josh Hart not rotating, he wasn't on the glass. It was almost like they thought Oklahoma City was going to come in there, and just because it was Madison Square Garden, they were going to come in there and cower to them or be intimidated by that. And they weren't. Oklahoma City walked in there yesterday thinking, we're the best team in the NBA, and we're going to kick your ass. and they kicked their asses in every other aspect. In any aspect. The Knicks didn't compete on the defensive end. They didn't get on the glass. They didn't provide any rim. They didn't provide any rim protection. They didn't provide anything on the perimeter. Nothing whatsoever. Nothing. They didn't show on screens. They didn't get on the glass. Oklahoma City got whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted, however they wanted, for the entire night. It wasn't that they got this just for a stretch. These are games where, and Ox, by the way, I don't believe in the throwaway games. No.
Right. No.
We go in the film room and we watch this whole game again. That's what we do. We go in the film room and we watch because I want you guys to see the effort that you put out. This is not one of those games where we're just going to throw this game away. No, we're not. I want you guys to see the effort that Cameron Payne had on the weak side. I want you to see the effort that Cat had as a rim protector. I want you to see all of this. And I want you to recognize we got our ass kicked in our building. And this is what's going to happen when you guys play like this. You're not good enough to play like this. You're not.
Right. Chill. Between those two guys, OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, they're making $60 million this year.
60.
I mean, OG's making 36. Mikal's making 24. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're paying these dudes $60 million to do absolutely nothing last night. Like they didn't put this team together. They didn't put Mikal and OG together to beat the Hornets.
No.
They didn't put them together, you know what I'm saying, to beat the Portland Trailblazers. Those teams are put together to beat OKC, to beat the Celtics, to beat Cleveland, you know what I mean, to beat Milwaukee, to beat Denver, to beat the Lakers, the Mavericks. That's what those two are together there for. So to play like that, there's no excuse for that. I can't find any angle to give OG an excuse, any angle to give Mikal an excuse. That was terrible.
And I'm not buying, Ox, that it was just one of those nights. I'm not buying that it was just one of those nights and we'll just throw it away. No. And the reason why I say that is because I did the same thing. I did the exact same thing when Oklahoma City played Milwaukee in the in-season tournament championship and they shot as bad as they did. I could get with the logic that, you know, it's a Tuesday and you shoot bad against, I don't know, Charlotte. Yo, this is a primetime game on a Friday night in your building against the best team in the league. Just like the in-season tournament championship game was. And now you're telling me that you shoot the basketball as bad as you did in prime time. It was just one of those nights? No. Same. And if I'm going to do that with Oklahoma City when they played against Milwaukee, I got to do the exact same thing with the Knicks when Oklahoma City comes into your building on a Friday night at 7:30 in a primetime game where you're the number 3 seed in the East, going up against the best team in the Western Conference. They come into your building and the game is on prime time, and you lay an egg like that. That is unacceptable. You weren't prepared to play, and I think it was across the board. I think it was the players. I think it was the coaches. I think it was everybody. You guys weren't prepared to play, and you got your ass kicked. And we need to sit down and we need to watch the film to recognize that we're not good enough to show up like this. We're not.
Yeah, and I see some people are saying, "Oh, it was just an off night." Like that's not you can't have an off night. Last night's not the night for an off night. You know,
no, it's not.
It's just not. That's just not how you got to do it. You got to step up. That's what you get paid the big bucks for. You got to show up when it's showtime. You got to show up.
And last night was showtime, Ox. Last night was 100%. Showtime, no doubt. Last night was showtime.
100%. We got a members chat from Alan Narr, who's been a member for 18 months. Shout out to Alan Narr holding it down for 18 months. He says, "How do we lose to the Poverty Kings?" Shake my head. W stream.
That's interesting. He mentions that because we're going to get to that. We are going to get to that.
I know how you lose to the Poverty Kings when Domantas Sabonis has 23 and 28. But
we're going to. In fact, Ox, we just got finished talking about the Knicks and talking about that effort with the Knicks, right? And the exact same thing happened last night with the Celtics. Okay, you got a team coming into your building. Okay, first and foremost, I had the Sacramento Kings. I thought that they were a 50-win team this season. That's how good I thought they were going to be this year. I thought that they were a 50-win team. I thought that DeMar DeRozan, I thought that in-between game was going to be the difference. What I didn't recognize, and it's not that I don't know that Sabonis is that good. I just didn't give him as much credit as I should. Ox, you and I had a conversation last week when I probably it was either Monday or Tuesday when we talked about when Bam came to town, and I'm watching that game and I'm watching Sabonis and Bam, and I'm thinking to myself, if I'm Bam, I'm looking, if I got to fight with this guy all night, yo, you are up against it, because he is going to continuously keep the pressure on you on the glass, in transition, on the offensive end, on the defensive end. He is good, and as physical as he is, I don't think that there's anybody of all the guys that Sacramento has, and we can get to we'll get to the rest of those guys. I don't think that there's anybody in their right mind that would associate that would say Sabonis and soft in the same sentence. Throw that Euro tag out the window. There's nothing soft about Domantas Sabonis. If you get in, when you get on the floor with him, your ass better be prepared to fight. And you better be prepared to fight all night long. Not for a couple of minutes, not for a quarter. You better be prepared to fight. You better be prepared to get pushed around. You better be prepared to bang all night long with that guy, because he's not going to stop. He is not. And you got to bring that same effort that he brings. And by the way, this was out De'Aaron Fox last night. This was out De'Aaron Fox. On top of that, Ox, this is a Sacramento team that comes in winning 5 straight. They rolling. Okay, so this is not an off night for the Celtics. This isn't Washington coming in here, right? This isn't Charlotte or one of the worst teams in the league coming in here. This is a team that's rejuvenized, right? This is a team that's gallivanting behind each other. They're rolling, winning 5 in a row. They come into your building. Sabonis completely dominates in the paint on every aspect. He dominates. The same thing you just told me about Mikal Bridges, the exact same thing happened last night with Derek White. The exact same thing, Ox. I got nothing from him. Jason Tatum turns the ball over 8 times. He didn't turn the ball over once. He didn't turn the ball over 3 times. He turned the ball over 8 times last night. You guys, and I said this last year when the Lakers came into Boston without LeBron James and without Anthony Davis, and they thought that they could just show up. That's why I'm not buying this whole it was an off night thing. Even though you are the world champs, it's even more now that you have to show up, because every team that comes into your building and every building that you go into, that's what you have on you. You're not the Boston Celtics. You are the world champion Boston Celtics. And every team that you play against, that's what you're going to have to give up. That's what you're going to have to go up against.
You know what that brings, Chill? When you win a championship, you have a target on your jersey. On your jersey, every night you have a target. Everybody's going to give you their best game. They're going to give you their maximum effort. So these top teams, they can't. So, I mean, there's obviously teams that you're going to beat. You know, You're going to beat Portland. You're going to beat Washington. You're going to beat those teams. But there's teams in the middle of the pack that are coming for you every time they see you. And teams like Boston, OKC, Cleveland, New York, Denver, those teams, they have to be prepared for that. And it just seemed like there was a couple teams last night that we saw that were not ready for that. I mean, Orlando gave Milwaukee everything they could handle last night.
Yep. That's why I have a difficult time, Ox, when I hear the logic of, that was last year. No, I'm not. I don't subscribe to that. That was last year logic. And the reason why I don't subscribe to that is because when you win the championship, what that is to me is a cop-out when you say that was last year. There's a reason why you're on TV more the next year. There's a reason why the arenas are filled up more when you come to town. There's a reason why teams play harder against you, because you're the champs. You got to walk like that. You got to talk like that. You got to carry yourself like that. And this Celtic team, they came in with this, first and foremost, remember who Doug Christie is. Doug Christie is an all-league defender and a hard-nosed player. And he coaches his guys like that. What I saw from the Sacramento team last night, when we were able to catch that game, what I saw from this Sacramento team last night, I saw more effort. I saw crisper passes. I saw guys cutting to the basket harder. I saw these guys getting on the glass more. And what I saw the most, and I stand on this and I will die on this hill, there is nothing worse than getting in a dogfight and not realizing you're in a dogfight until it's too late. And that's what happened last night with the Celtics. They recognized, oh shit, yo, this is gonna be a fight. It was too late now. He already swung on you 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
By this time, it's too late to realize after he done swung on you 3 or 4 times and connected it, you in the corner going, "Oh shit, I gotta fight this guy." Yes,
right. You let somebody tag you a couple times. You already a little dazed. You're backpedaling. You're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? What you gonna do now?
It's too late now. We got a fight going on. You should have came in the ring knowing that, yo, this dude wants to fight, and because this dude wants to fight, he gonna get a fight. I thought the Celtics could handle Sacramento last night, but the effort that I got from Ellis, right? The effort that I got from Ellis on the defensive end, I thought he did a damn good job on Derek White. I thought you guys communicated really well on switches. Even though the Celtics are a really switch-heavy team, I thought you guys did a really good job communicating on switches. I thought that Sabonis, it looked to me, and I know Al Horford is your guy, Ox. It looked to me there was a stretch where he didn't want nothing to do with Sabonis. He just didn't. He didn't want nothing to do with him.
Yeah, going back and watching that too. Kristaps Porzingis the same way. I think Domantas Sabonis is a little too. I used to like that where even like in the open gym during the summertime.
Sure.
And this was a big thing. Like with me when we were younger, me, Shaq, and Ron, we would go to open gyms, and during the summertime in Seattle, and dudes would be like, "Man, y'all chill out."
No,
they'd be like, "Nah, bro, we playing ball." Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not gonna chill out. Yeah, right. And I feel like that's how Kristaps was kind of looking at Domantas last night, like, bro, like, relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? And I've always liked that feeling. I've always liked that, enjoyed that, where somebody was like, "Man, you're doing too much." Like, yeah, you're right. Like, that's what we're doing. We playing ball. And I like that with Domantas Sabonis. I think he's one of those guys where people are kind of looking like, bro, this isn't. It's just Tuesday, bro. Like, calm down. You know what I mean? No time to relax. I think he understands that there is a sense of urgency with us, and we have to, like, for the Kings, we have to make the playoffs this year. We have to get out the first round. If we don't do that, then it's gonna be time to make some changes.
Moving in a different direction.
And I think Domantas Sabonis is very well aware of that. And I think Keon Ellis, when he plays more minutes, we have a different intensity. And so, I'm happy to see what we're seeing right now. Let's hope we can keep it up.
Which is interesting too, Ox. Really, really quickly, Ox, which is really interesting because, I mean, you brought up a really interesting point a couple of days ago. Just so you guys know, the Kings are 3 games out the 4 spot. That's it. 3. As of right now, they're 3 games out the 4 spot. So just last night, they were in 10th place. Last night, they were in 10th place. They're in 9th place now, and they're 3 games. There are a couple of teams having a couple of bad stretches to being right back in the top 5 of the Western Conference. I just want to put that out there. And they've won 6 straight. So I just want to put that out there.
Right. As far as that Milwaukee-Orlando game goes, because I feel like we ended up watching more of that game than we did of the game that we were supposed to be watching. Paolo Banchero comes back last night and has a great game. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure we all know what we're getting from Giannis, night in, night out. But
40 and 14.
But
I'm sorry, Alex, I'm laughing.
It's crazy.
I'm sorry.
I'll just be looking at Giannis like, bro.
You chill out. Can you chill out?
Right. Like we were just saying,
you're doing too much.
Giannis, I mean, he's just on go. 41 and 14 last night. Got 29 from Dame. Paolo comes back last night, has 34 and 7. It was a great game. It went down to the wire. How do you feel about that matchup? How do you feel about obviously the Bucks, and how do you feel about this Orlando Magic team staying relevant and just fighting through all these injuries they've had?
So when I bring up guys to you, when I talk to you about Shane, when I bring up Shane Battier to you, or when I bring up Louis Scola to you, right? See how Ox face light up when I bring up these guys. When you bring up Paolo Banchero to me, I'm like, word. I sit right up. Soon as you start talking about, I love this kid. I don't like this kid. I love everything about this kid. He is absolutely on go every minute. When he walks on the floor, he is with the drama. He is not going to back down. He is going to play hard every possession. And he's still young and he's going to make mistakes. But I think that it's very much like what was going on in Memphis. Remember when Ja said, I'm fine in the West? Well,
Yeah.
your leader, your team is indicative to how your leader is. If your leader is a yapper and that's all he really does, but it doesn't translate to the floor, that's what your team is going to be. A bunch of dudes that just don't. If your leader is a guy that's hard-nosed, that's tough, that resonates throughout the rest of the crew. If you look at this crew, they go like Paolo goes. They go like Franz goes. You're not going to just push this crew around. Now, they may have lapses on offense where they can't score, but I can tell you what's not going to happen. You're not going to push this team around. And that Milwaukee team is another hard-nosed team. I think this was a great matchup for Orlando. I can't wait till Franz gets healthy, because then I can get a better idea of what this team is. Because when I watched them last night, I'm on record saying it, Ox, and I'm not gonna shy away from this. I stand on it. I want to give the ball to Anthony Black. I think he should be your lead guard. The more I watch him, the more I say to myself, that's my starting point guard right there. This is the guy that I want leading my charge as the lead guard. Now, that doesn't negate how good Paolo Banchero is. Paolo Banchero's ability to handle the ball, get downhill, score in space, score in traffic. He's great at that. He doesn't shy away from contact, which I really like about him at 6'9", 6'10". The fact that he doesn't shy away from contact. He will get in there amongst the other trees, and he will bang. He will take advantage of smaller guys. I really love that about him. But I think the key to this Orlando unit, one, is health, because they've been banged up. And number two, I want to give the ball to Anthony Black, because I think that he could be the catalyst to help this team. You got a bigger guard who I think is better as a passer. I think he's better as a passer than any other league guards that they have. On top of that, I think he can defend. I don't think he's an elite defender, but I do think he can defend. So when you get those two things together, couple that with the hard-nosed guys that they have, because they had their hands full last night with Bobby Portis on the glass. They had their hands full with Giannis. And to your point, Ox, when you talk about going up against Giannis, exactly how I thought the Knicks should have came out last night, that's how Giannis comes out every night. Win, lose, or draw, Giannis comes out. He is ready. I don't care if they playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't care if they playing the Boston Celtics. I don't care if they playing the Portland Trail Blazers. Giannis is on 10 when he walks on the floor. He is ready to go. There is no misunderstanding. And I think Giannis sees this. I think he saw last night's game as a potential preview of the playoffs, because these two teams are at the 4 and the 5 seed right now. And we might see these guys down the road. So I want them to know what they're going to have to deal with. I mean, Giannis was fantastic around the basket yesterday. Not only was he great around the basket, I mean, he was great in transition. I mean, he dunked one over Isaacs last night, which I thought was big time. And he's just a force to deal with. A force to deal with. And I'm standing on this, Ox. I think Damian Lillard is an all-pro. Dame is so steady. I feel like Dame is so steady in what he does. Dame is so steady in where his game is. Dame is something like fine wine, where Dame's game has not gotten sped up. It's aging gracefully. Dame does not look like he's washed. This is year 2, in my estimation, of the 3-year window for this Milwaukee Bucks team. Last year was the transition year. I think this year they got to make some noise. And then next year, if they don't challenge for the Eastern Conference Championship, I think next year we got to blow this thing up. But I just love what I saw from Dame. I did. I love what I saw from him. I love that he got downhill. His pull-up game is still one of the best in the league. His long ball game is still one of the best in the league. He's still a top 10 point guard. And, I mean, they were in a dogfight last night. For the entire time. So that was a great game, and I would love to see this matchup in the playoffs.
Chill, what is it about this Orlando Magic team that keeps them above water? They lost last night, and a loss is a loss. I can't put an asterisk next to a loss. But they've stayed afloat. They're still, if I'm not mistaken, let me just check so I don't just lie. They're still the 5th seed. You know what I mean? How are they doing this with the type of injuries that they've had to overcome? They had Paolo was out for a while, and Franz was going ballistic. Franz gets hurt. Jalen Suggs is still there balling. Now Jalen Suggs is out, and I'm not sure what the injury is with Jalen Suggs and how long he's going to be. Mo Wagner is out now. I mean, how did they do this? Because last night, there's no Franz, there's no Jalen.
Sure.
And even before that, so it's just injury after injury after injury, and this team still continues to compete. I think I mean, their defensive intensity is one thing, but I mean, how are they doing this?
Ox, you are a coach, and as a coach, one of the things that has to be paramount for you as a coach is respect. I think that this Orlando team has bought into what Coach Mosley is preaching. So even if I'm not scoring, they're bought into the effort. He seems like the kind of coach that I'll run through a wall for you. And that's kind of what they've been doing with him. The effort has never waned. Sure, they might have lost some offense. Sure, they might not be as good at knocking down the long ball. They might not be as good getting to the basket. But I can tell you what they're not going to do. They're not going to not give effort. That's not going to happen. And I think that's indicative of the coach. I feel like his schemes where he puts these guys playing Isaacs, the minutes he plays him, keeping him as a roamer. Even though as good as Isaacs is as a one-on-one defender, he uses him in a lot of Roman schemes, especially on the baseline, especially at the rim. I think that that's great for them. Also, he keeps that battery in Cole Anthony's back, because Cole Anthony is not a guy as a rotation guy that I'm going to rely on to get me consistent buckets. But I can tell you what he is going to do. He's going to play hard. He's going to give me consistent effort. He's going to get to the rim. He's not going to do a lot of things to kill us, but he's going to do the stuff on the defensive end and effort-wise that are going to keep us in games. And a lot of times they've out-effort teams, which would explain why they still are where they are. And I think that's indicative to their coach. Can't hear you, Ox.
Yeah, got it. So that's a good point. I definitely think that I definitely believe that a team that's bought in, like if a coach has to be bought into his team, and the team has to be bought into his coach. Mm-hmm. Even if we're not running the best scheme in a team, because you've had teams where a coach has the right idea, but the team doesn't see it, and so they're just butting heads. You're not gonna have success like that. But you have teams where the coach has a mediocre game plan, but everybody's bought in, and we're running it. We're sold in, and that team has more success than the other team. But when you have a coach like this, that obviously has he has the right thing going on. He has he knows what he's doing, and a team that's bought into that and that's willing to play defense, and like you said, willing to run through a wall for them. You're going to have much success. I'm excited to see this Orlando team come playoffs. And we're going to get to that soon, y'all, because today we are doing the early NBA playoff predictions. We're going to run through 1 through 8 in the East, run through 1 through 8 in the West. And we'll get Chill's prediction on how we see this playoff run going through. Who's going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals? Who's going to get to the Western Conference Finals? And ultimately, who's going to be the champ? Yep. So we'll get there. In the meantime, I do want to pull up something very interesting. Well, something I think is very interesting.
What's that?
The MVP ladder.
Or
the MVPs as it is today. Let's see.
Interesting.
Right. Is that okay, hold on. Got
That's
it right here.
stuff.
Y'all can see that? Everybody can see that? Okay. So this is what it looks like right now, Chill.
Yeah.
We got so far in, it's January. We still got 45 games left to play, y'all. Give or take a few. This is what it looks like right now. MVP right now looks like Alp Sengun at 10, Anthony Davis at 9, Luka Doncic at 8, Donovan Mitchell at 7, Karl Anthony Towns, the big bodega, at 6, Jason Tatum at 5, Victor Wembanyama at 4, Giannis Antetokounmpo at 3, Nikola Jokic at 2, and SGA at 1.
Yep.
How does this list look to you, Chill, in chat? Let's see how y'all feel about this list. Y'all tell me how y'all feel in the chat. How do y'all feel about this list?
Well, Ox, I want to start at the bottom with Sengun. I think that's interesting that Sengun is in the top 10, and I do understand it because I always cared. I always cared when you're talking about the league MVP. I've always cared about winning. The idea that you're getting busy on a team that isn't as productive. Somebody got to lead a bad team in scoring. Somebody got to lead a bad team in rebounding. Somebody got to lead a bad team in assists. So I never really bought into that. I care about winning and how you affect winning. And I think it's interesting with Sengun because I think Sengun is fantastic. And I think that with the Houston Rockets, who I didn't think would be this good, I think he's got a lot to do with that.
Right.
I do, however, think that Houston, where they are, a lot of their stuff, a lot of their success has been predicated on their defense. A lot of it. Now, that doesn't mean the Sengun offensively hasn't been great. I think he's averaging 19 and 9. He's been fantastic for this crew, no doubt. And he has affected winning for them, both on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. He's not a great defender, but he has affected winning. But I think that their overall defense as a crew, I think it's affected them more. I don't think Anthony Davis has played to an MVP level this season like he's done in the past. I feel like this Laker team has been really inconsistent. 1 minute they look like a top 4 seed, and in the next minute they look like a play-in team, which I think that they're a play-in team this year anyway. This Dallas team, for all intents and purposes, they're over 500 without Luka. They're over 500 without Luka. I'm having a difficult time with the logic that your team is winning without you. And on top of that, he's going to be out for a while. So I think we may have to take Luka's name out of this, off the strength that he's going to be out for a while. That's not to say that Luka still isn't a top 5, top 10 player. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying this season, Luka's been beat up. He's going to miss. I think he's going to miss over 20 plus games. I don't think Luka should be in consideration. Donovan Mitchell, on the other hand, when I talk about affecting winning, does Donovan Mitchell affect winning more than Evan Mobley affects winning? That's where I think that's where the divide is with me, because I think Donovan Mitchell I think he's the best player on the crew, but I think that Evan Mobley, for what he does, I think I don't think that there's a huge separation between him and Donovan Mitchell in terms of what they do. Both. I think Donovan Mitchell's a better player. I won't argue that, but I do think that Evan Mobley, how much he affects winning as a glass cleaner, as a defender, how switchable he is, all of that good stuff. I think that I can make the argument that Evan Mobley affects winning on a certain level that Donovan Mitchell doesn't. Now, Cat, on the other hand, Cat has given the Knicks something that they didn't have last year, and that's a stretch 5, a consistent stretch 5. But the difference is, if we're being honest about this crew, I mean, as good as Jalen Brunson is, I mean, the Knicks defense also with OG Anunoby and with Mikal Bridges, who has been better, who has actually been better before yesterday. Give me a break. But I just think that this team, as good as Karl Anthony Towns is, I think this team has done a lot more with the personnel that they have. I don't think that Karl Anthony Towns has affected winning on the defensive end as much as I would like him to. My issue with Jason Tatum is one thing and one thing only. Jason Tatum has been inconsistent. That's it. When Jason Tatum has been consistent, I don't think that I can't say definitively that these guys, with the exception of Joker, I can't say definitively that all of these guys are better than him when he's been consistent. But he hasn't been consistent, so I can't say that. This is where he is right now. I can't give I do think he should be ahead of Victor Wembanyama off the strength that, I mean, they're in 10th place. No, I'm not. I don't. As good as Victor Wembanyama is, I think that we're turning him into something more than he is right now. I don't think he's that good. I do think he's great, but I don't think he's top 4 in MVP race good. No, I don't think he's that good. I mean, you just brought it up, Ox.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we it's almost like we expect 30 and 10, 35 and 15, to be honest. It's almost like that's a Tuesday. I think we really are taking for granted how good he is. I do. Because it's so normal to see that from Giannis. Like 41 and 14. That's not every day, yo. 30 and 11. That's not every day. That's hard as hell to do. And Giannis is doing that. And he's been much better defensively, way better defensively this year. So when I think about Joker,
are we numb to Giannis at this point?
That's exactly what's happening, Ox. That's not true. That's exactly what's happening. It's like, it's just Giannis. When in reality, it shouldn't be that. It should be way more than that. Giannis is, for all intents and purposes, arguably, because it's now been a conversation, he is the best player in the world. That's now become a conversation, and it's gotten louder. And the fact that he is 29 and 13, 33 and 14, we shouldn't be numb to that. Even though to some people it's not eye-popping, it's just Giannis, right? Even though to some people it's not eye-popping, it's just Giannis, it's still phenomenal because of how he affects his unit, right? What he does to affect his unit, I think he's great. I mean, what can you say about Joker that hasn't already been said? I mean, I think he went 35, 13, and 15 last night. And I mean, I know that sounds goofy. I know that sounds crazy what I just said. Yes, that sounds crazy. Joker is just so dynamic in everything that he does. Everything. Ox, he's the guy, and I know that I sound like a broken record. He's the guy, and just like I'm going to talk about the first guy, he's one of the few guys that I see in the league that when he gets the ball, I feel like something good's going to happen. Always.
Yeah.
I just always feel whenever he touches the ball, I just think something good is going to happen. I don't know what. I just think something good is going to happen when he touches the ball because he is so good almost at everything, right? He's so good at almost everything that it's hard to find holes. And not only that, Ox, he's so good at playing within himself. Like if you notice, Joker doesn't try to do anything that he can't do. I'm a good passer, so I pass. I can shoot the ball, so I shoot. I don't shoot a lot of threes. I'll shoot threes, but because I can shoot threes, I'm good on the box. Joker doesn't. You don't see Joker on the wing throwing the ball between his legs, doing step backs, and that's not my game. That's not who I am. No. So he's just so good that it's difficult to not have him right there. But if I'm standing on and if I'm being if I'm being consistent with my logic, I don't think that there's a guy in the league right now in January. We're almost halfway through the season. I don't think that there's a guy in the league who affects winning more than SGA. I don't think that there's one guy in the league that affects winning on every level, both on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. I don't think that there's a guy who affects winning more than what SGA does, especially considering the crew that he has. Right, yeah. Considering the crew that he has, if Aaron Wiggins is on another crew, if Cason Wallace is on another crew, if Williams is on another crew, not J-Dub, but Jalen Williams, if the other Williams is on another crew, if these guys are on other crews, they probably get lost in the sauce. But SGA is so good at what he does, and with the personnel that he has and how he affects winning with those guys and his ability to score. I don't think that there's many guys in the league that I can honestly say, right? There aren't many guys in the league that I can honestly say are better at getting buckets than him. I said that I think Luka Doncic is the best scorer in the game. I don't think there's a guy who scores the basketball easier. But when I watched SGA last night, SGA has this ability to turn it on, turn it off, speed up the game, slow down the game, get downhill, get to the mid-range. He will not allow you to speed him up or slow him down. He will not allow you to make him take bad shots. He will not allow you to play outside of himself. This is who he is, and this is what he's about. And when I think about guys who affect winning, right? When I think about guys who affect winning, Joker, Giannis, I don't think that there's nothing. I don't think that there's a guy who affects winning more right now than SGA. If the season ended today, I think he's the league MVP. I do.
Oh yeah.
I do.
Nobody can fight that. Okay. It's okay if you want to put Jokic in there as the MVP, but no, you can't give me a strong case, a solid, real case against SGA for MVP. You can't.
I just can't see it. I can't.
Chill. Obviously, I'm gonna do what I have to do, and I'm gonna say what I have to say. This list is bogus.
Would it be because Sabonis ain't on it?
Well, I'm saying you can't tell me it's all about winning if you got Victor Wembanyama at 4.
Yeah.
And when you got a guy that's averaging 21, 14, and 6, and you don't see his name in the top 10 for MVP, I call bogus. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to make a big fuss about it. We got a whole show to do today, and if I start now, I won't be able to stop. So,
don't get out started on Sabonis. Don't do it. Don't.
Right. But I mean, other than that, like I think there's a lot of guys playing a high level of basketball right now, and I think obviously, like I said, we still have 45 games, give or take a few, left to play basketball. So this list can change rapidly. You never know; we might turn around tomorrow and the Lakers go on a 10-game winning streak led by Anthony Davis, and all of a sudden now he's the guy for MVP.
Right.
So y'all just stay tuned, stay tapped into this. But Chill, I want to get into the nitty gritty. I want to get into the meat and potatoes, what we came up here to do, Chill.
Yep.
I want to go through. So just for the sake of time, let's not go through the whole play-in tournament thing. Let's just go straight to the 8. So whoever you think is going to make it after the play-in tournaments, let's just go straight there.
Sure.
I got it pulled up over here. I'm just gonna keep it like this, and I'll fill in the teams, and then I'll pull that up after. After we're done. So do you want to start in the East or do you want to start in the West?
I'm an Eastern Conference guy. Ox, you know me. I'm an East dude. So
okay,
even though I love the Western Conference, I'm an Eastern Conference guy. Always been an Eastern Conference guy. Always will be. So
okay. So let's get so just my bad. I guess I didn't present this right to everybody that hasn't been here yet. This is what we're doing right now. We're gonna get Chill's 1 through 8 predictions for the playoffs. Not 1 through 8 what we think it is gonna be right now. These aren't today's power rankings. These are when April 20th comes around. Is it the 18th, the 20th, 28th? Whenever this playoffs start. These are who Chill predicts are going to be the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th seed in both conferences. You know what I'm saying? We're doing it a little early. So that's why it says early NBA playoff predictions.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what we're doing right here. Let's get into it. I won't leave y'all waiting any longer. Chill, let's start in the East. Who do you have as the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference?
Barring injury, I mean, the way that they've been playing, the Cavs are on their way to winning 70 games this year. They got the best offense in the league. They're the best pick and dive team in the league. I don't really see, barring injury, I don't really see them falling off of that. I mean, they got 10 guys. I think that the Cavs stay at the number 1 spot. Where they are, I see them staying at the number 1 spot.
Right. Okay. Yep. Let's keep it going. 2 seed.
Yep. I think Boston stays there, and I do think that as we get later on in the season and they start to turn it, they start to turn it on a little bit. I do think that they'll challenge Cleveland for that number 1 spot and maybe close that gap. I do think that they could do that, but at some point, I think Cleveland's going to make some separation and they'll stay at the number 1 seed, and I think Boston will stay at the number 2 seed.
Okay. 3 at the 3.
At the 3 seed, this is where it gets tricky because if I'm being honest, I'm going to stick with the Knicks. But from what I saw last night, they could drop to that 4 seed because I don't like what I'm seeing from these dudes in big games. Last night, I didn't like that at all. I did not like that at all. Even though they're on pace to win, I think 56 or 58 games this year. Even though they're on pace to do that, I just didn't like what I saw last night. But I'll stick with them for right now at 3. Yep.
Okay. At 4, who do we got?
Milwaukee at 4. I'm gonna keep Milwaukee at 4. Right. I'm gonna keep because that's where I had Milwaukee before the season started. I thought Milwaukee would be the 4 seed, and I think they're gonna challenge the Knicks for that 3 spot, though. I do. I think that they could catch the Knicks for that 3 spot. As a matter of fact, Ox, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna say that the Milwaukee Bucks, I think they jump the Knicks, and I think they get that 3 spot, and I think the Knicks fall into that 4 spot. Yep.
Okay, let's change that up. Put the Bucks at 3.
Yep.
And we'll put the Knicks at 4.
Yep. I think that they challenge them for that 3 spot, and I think they get it. I don't think that that's too much ground to cover. Yeah, I think that the Bucks ultimately catch them.
Okay. 5.
At 5, this is where I had Orlando all season, and I'm going to stick with that. I had Orlando at the 5 seed, and I'm going to stick with them at the 5 seed. I think that with the injuries that they've had, it's kind of decimated them a little bit, but not much has changed. And I think between them and Milwaukee and the Knicks, I think that's where it's going to get tricky. But I think Orlando stays in that 5 spot.
Okay. Okay. What are we looking at in the 6 spot?
Now, this is where it gets funky, Ox, because from 6, to 10, I don't really think it's that much separation. I'm gonna say that the Heat get that 6 spot. Yeah,
Okay.
I think the Heat jump Indiana, and I think the Heat get that 6 spot. And
Is that and let me ask you, you got the Heat at the 6th spot. Are
yeah.
the Heat trading Jimmy Butler or are they holding on to Jimmy?
No, he's got to go, Ox. He does.
He's gone.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got to go. No doubt
Okay.
about it. He's got to go. So I think Miami, I think they just went out west. I think they won 3 to 4 games. And they lost to Sacramento. They lost to Sacramento. They beat the Warriors. They beat the Jazz. Yeah. I think that the Heat get that 6th spot.
Okay. And the 7, you said the Pacers, or were you just saying that the Heat jumped him? Who you got?
I think the Heat jumped the Pacers and they get that 6th spot.
Okay. And are you saying that the Pacers get the 7, or
this is where it gets tricky, Ox? Because I tell you what, that Detroit team is not playing. That Detroit team is not playing around. But I think that Indiana edges them. I do. I think Indiana can edge Detroit. But with that being said, I'm going to take it a step further than that, Ox. I think Atlanta gets that 7th spot. I do. I think Atlanta gets that 7th spot. Yep.
I like that. That.
I think Atlanta gets that 7th spot.
And so in the 8, the 8th spot is in between the Pacers and the Pistons?
Yep. The Pacers and the Pistons. Yes, sir. And the difference between them two is going to be, and I overrated them. And I definitely got to wear that. I thought Jalen Duren was better defensively, and he wasn't. And I think that's going to be the difference in them winning and losing a lot of games. Because I think they're going to get Ivy back before the season is over. Yeah, I think they're going to get Ivy back before the season is over. But I think Jalen Duren, who's a great rebounder, but I think that him defensively, I think that's going to be the difference in them winning and losing. And I don't think he's as good as I thought he was defensively. And I think Indiana, I think that they're better. So I think Indiana gets that 8th spot.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's do it. Pacers. Okay. So we'll just stick in the East. We're not going to jump back and forth from round to round. Let's stick in the East and let's get through these. Let's take it to the second round. So in the first round matchup, we have the number 1 Cavaliers versus the number 8 Pacers.
Yep.
Who's winning this series?
I think the Cavs handle them dudes in 5 games. I do. I think that defensively they just better. I think they fly around. I think that they hold Indiana's transition game because I think that's their bread and butter. And I think they slow them down in transition, and I think they handle them in 5 games.
Okay. And in the 4 and 5 matchup, we have the New York Knicks versus the Orlando Magic. I think this is going to be a hell of a series. Who wins this one?
Ox, I'm going on record. I think it's a 7-game dogfight. I think it's a 7-game dogfight. I think that the Knicks edge them just off of experience, but I think it's a 7-game dogfight. Okay. I do. I think Paolo, I think he matures even more, but I think it's a 7-game dogfight.
Yeah. And you know what? I think for a team like the Magic, I think a 7-game dogfight first round exit is not necessarily a bad thing for that team.
It's not. Same thing happened last year against Cleveland.
Right.
Same thing happened last year against Cleveland. This year they got decimated by injury. That was the problem. That was the problem.
Okay. And so in the 3 to 6 matchup, which we've seen in the first round before, we've seen Milwaukee and Miami in the first round before. But who wins this one?
I think Milwaukee handles Miami. And when I say handle them, Mox, I think they smoke them dudes in 5 games. I do. Okay. I think they smoke them dudes.
In another matchup, this 2-seed Celtics versus 7-seed Hawks, we've also seen this first round matchup. And the Hawks didn't just lay down and go out.
I don't like this matchup.
What will happen this year?
I don't like this matchup at all. I don't. I think the Celtics come out with broken ribs, a black eye, and a busted lip in a 6-game dogfight against Atlanta. I do. I think they get roughed up. Yes. And I think they come out in a 6-game busted lip, eye closed, broken ribs, getting carried out of the ring. Yes.
Well, chill. So you say the Celtics leave battered and bruised against the Hawks in the first round. If the Celtics go to the second round, battered and bruised, beat up, broken ribs, black eyes, What do they do in the second round against the Milwaukee Bucks?
They heal up. They get ready to roll. They heal up. They get ready to roll. They know it's the playoffs. And now what this comes down to with this Milwaukee Bucks team, now what this comes down to is we're just going to outshoot you. And I think that's going to be the difference with Milwaukee. You guys can't outshoot us. Boston will outshoot them. And with Boston outshooting them, I think they handle Milwaukee in 5, maybe 6 games. Giannis is going to get busy because we don't. As much as Al Horford, I don't know what it is about Al Horford, but Al Horford, when he sees Giannis and when Giannis sees him, it becomes a war between those two guys, no doubt about that. But in the end, I think the Celtics prevail.
Okay, we got that. So in the second round matchup between the Knicks and the Cavs, who's winning that? Who's taking that?
Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, they licking their chops. You don't think I remember what happened last time when I saw you, when y'all roughed us up on the playground when I was in the 8th grade? I ain't in the 8th grade no more. Nope. I'm tougher now. I'm bigger now. I've gotten taller. I got some muscle on me now. See if you can rough me up now. That's not happening. Nope. That's not happening this time. And in this series,
hold on. Let's stop there, Chill. Let's stop there. Let's stop at the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's go to the West, and then we'll come back together in both conference finals. Let me give the chat a preview because they can't see. Let me share my screen real quick just so that everybody can get a visual of what we're working with over here. Okay.
Yep.
So right now, y'all, this is what we have. Maybe let me zoom in a little more just to make sure everybody can see this.
Yep.
Okay, this is what we're looking at right now.
Yep.
So we got first round Cavs Pacers, Knicks Magic, Bucks Heat, Celtics Hawks. Second round Cavs versus Knicks. Second round Bucks versus Celtics. And then we have the Cavs and the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. So that's what we're looking at right now in the East, y'all.
Yeah.
Chat. Let me know what y'all think about that. How do we feel about this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Talk to me, chat. What do we think? What do we think so far?
Yes, sir. Looks good. I like it. I do like it.
All right. Well, that's the East so far. Y'all make sure to, feast your eyes on that. We're going to get to the West, and then we'll bring it back together.
Yep.
Let me see. We do have a couple super chats. Let's read these super chats real quick.
Yeah.
From my man Leaf Diggy. He says, it's the Tangerines. Garbage in, garbage out.
Talking about the Knicks. He from Brooklyn, so he a Brooklyn Nets guy. What can you say?
Someone random says, totally agree, Ox. Weird, but Orlando looked better in defeat than Denver winning. I don't think Magic can do much this season, but they're scary nonetheless.
I don't think that there's a team that's in the East that's seeing Orlando going, all right, we'll handle them dudes. No, they ain't thinking that. They're not thinking it. No way.
Carlos Hernandez says, hey, Chill. At this point, do you think SGA is a better scorer than Luka?
No, I don't. I don't think so. But I do think it's close. I don't think he's better than him. Because I think that Luka gets easier buckets than SGA. I think SGA lives in the mid-range, and I think that looks like it's better than what Luka does. But I think Luka getting downhill, and with Luka getting downhill, how he gets guys off of him, not just gets guys off of him, how he scores at the rim, I think that's the difference. I think he gets easier shots.
Okay. And my man Teddy Hart, he says, I think the Kings surprise everyone in the playoffs.
They won't surprise me. I had them as a 50-win team. I had them as a top 6 team. They would not surprise me at all.
Okay. Teddy Hart, W super chat from Teddy Hart. Well, Chill, you said you had the Kings top 4. Let's see. One second.
I thought that the Western Conference. I thought that the Western Conference this season would be a nightmare, which it is. And I had the Kings. I had the King, and we'll get to them. But the Western Conference is a nightmare. So
yeah, it is. It definitely is. Okay, well, let's do the West just like we just did in the East. Let's start with your number 1 seed in the West. Who do you got, Chill?
I think it's Oklahoma City, and I think it's pretty comfortable. I don't think that anybody catches them, barring any more injuries. I don't think anybody catches them. I think that they wrap up the number 1 seed in the West.
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe.
Yes.
At the 2 spot, who do you got?
I think Memphis catches Houston. I do. I think Memphis catches Houston, and I had them as I had Memphis as the 3 seed, but excuse me, I think that they catch Houston. I love what Jaren Jackson is doing on the glass of recent. This is what I was talking about with him, Ox. I never liked him as a rebounder, but the fact that he's been on the glass more, I'm like, this is what I mean. On the defensive glass, on the offensive glass, he's been a much better rebounder as of late. And I think that's the difference in them winning and losing games. The difference. I think they catch Houston, and I think they get that 2 spot.
Real quick, Chill. We do have a $20 super chat. So being a W host, I'm going to go ahead and read this from Teddy Hart. He says, Chill, I know you don't want Jimmy around the kids, but he did have a positive impact in Hero and Bam's development. His work ethic is infectious to the young players. That being said, he take the Magic to the next level, in my opinion.
Would he take the Magic?
I think that's fair, Chill. I think that's fair. His work ethic is, we can't debate. We can't debate about the work ethic. He does have that.
I won't argue that part. But what I will say about Jimmy Butler is, I mean, it always ends bad wherever he goes. It always ends bad. And what I don't want is I don't want Jimmy as an influencer, because I saw what happened in Minnesota. I don't think he wanted to be there, to be honest with you. I don't think he wanted to be in Minnesota. That thing just didn't work right from the beginning. With Orlando, I feel like the same way I feel like Oklahoma City, I feel like that with Orlando too. I don't think that this team has peaked. I don't think that we've seen the best of the Orlando Magic, and what you would have to give up to get Jimmy Butler and what kind of effect that would have on the crew. That's the thing that I'm worried about the most with the Orlando Magic. The development of this crew, how they are getting better. And if you add Jimmy Butler to that crew, what is that going to do for that? What is that going to do for this Orlando Magic team? Is it going to make them significantly better? Is he going to clash with young guys like Paolo? Is he going to clash? Because he clashed with Ben Simmons, right? He clashed with Cat and Andrew Wiggins. He did. I'm sure on some level he clashed with Tyler Hero and Bam, but it seemed to work out a little bit better because of that heat culture. I don't know if that kind of attitude, and Jimmy said it himself. He said, I'm not for everybody. I'm not for everybody. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was a dope super chat. Appreciate that, Teddy. Okay. So we were at the number 3 in the West. You said you had Memphis jumping Houston. Does that mean Houston drops to the 3, or do they drop further?
I had Houston as a top 5 seed before the season started. I did not have them this good, but I think this is sustainable, Ox. I do. I think this is sustainable, and I think that they can stick right where they are, just off their defense alone. I'm going to keep Houston at 3. Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to keep Houston at 3. Yep.
Okay. So who was getting the 4 spot in the West?
The team that I already had at the 4 spot before the season started, and that was Denver.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
I had Denver at the 4 spot. What can I say about Joker that hasn't already been said? And what can I say about Russell Westbrook? How much better this team is with him on the floor. I love it. I had them at the 4 spot.
Okay. Okay, let's move on to the 5 spot. Who takes the 5? And
now I had Houston at the 5 spot, and I had Dallas at the 6 spot. So the thing about Dallas, Luka being out of the lineup, they're still over 500 without him. They're still over 500 without him, and I mean, I feel like they can tread water. I do. I feel like they can tread water, and then by the time they get him back, I think this is right around where they'll be at the 5 spot. I can get with that.
Dallas at the 5.
Yes. I think this is where they'll be.
All right. And the 6th spot goes to who?
To be honest with you, Ox, I'm moving that Kings team up.
To the
I'm
6th.
I'm moving that Kings team up. Yep. I'm moving that
Mm,
Kings team up to the 6th spot. I am. I'm
I
moving
can
that
see
Kings
that.
team up. I'm moving that Kings team up to the 6th spot. I like what's going on there. Fox gets back in the lineup. Not just Fox gets back in the lineup. I think when they hit that after the All-Star break, when they hit that stretch,
Mm-hmm.
barring any injuries, which that's what decimated them last year, I think that's where they're going to end up. I'm going to keep sacking that 6th spot.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Chill. I
Yep.
couldn't agree more.
I'm going to keep sacking that
In
6th spot.
the 7, who do we have?
The Lakers. I had the Lakers as a playing team before the season started. I think that they're built more for the playoffs than they are for the regular season. That's where I had them at. That's where I had them at before the season started, and that's where I'm gonna keep them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the last spot available in the West, the 8th seed goes to who?
The Minnesota Timberwolves. I had the Clippers I had the Clippers missing the playoffs before the season started, and I'm still standing on that. I don't think they make the playoffs this year. I don't. I think Minnesota. I think Minnesota gets in. I think Minnesota gets in off the strength of one thing, Oxen. I know you're gonna. This might sound crazy to you. I think Julius Randle gets traded.
Oh, okay.
I do. I think Julius Randle gets traded. I don't think he's going to be on the crew come playoff time. I think they're going to move off of him because I don't think they want to play him. I mean, I don't think they want to pay him. So I think that he's going to end up getting traded. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many years does he have on that contract? It's just this
is
year
it.
and then next year. Also, he's
This
unrestricted free agent.
Well, no. He got a player option at
Okay.
the end of this deal, and then he's got one more. He's got one more year. So after this year, yeah.
So okay. So there's this year and then next year's his player option.
Yeah.
Do we know how much that option is, and is he going to opt into
It's
that?
it's like 32 million, something like that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Something like
I
that.
wonder. I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what Julius should do with that.
Yeah, I am too. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the first round. Let's
Mm-hmm.
get to who wins these first round matchups and makes the second round.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
start right here. Thunder versus Wolves.
The Thunder versus the
1-8 matchup.
I think that it's gonna be a fight early, but it's like anything. You know, eventually you're gonna get choked out, and I think Oklahoma City handles them in 5 games. I do.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
in the 1-8 matchup, we got the Thunder beating the Wolves. In the 2-7 matchup, we got the Grizz versus the Lakers. Who takes that matchup?
Oh man. I'm gonna tell you something, Ox. I love the Lakers in this matchup. I do. I think they beat them again. I do. I think that they get them again. If it's anybody except Denver, I like the Lakers' chances. I do. And playing against this Memphis team, Jaren Jackson is better, but I don't know what it is about Anthony Davis. But whenever Anthony Davis sees Jaren Jackson, he is on 10 when he sees him. Now, Jaren Jackson, very much like Evan Mobley with the Knicks, Jaren Jackson has been better. He's gotten tougher. But what I am going to say, right? What I am going to say with that crew, with what the Lakers have, it's going to come down to that 2-man game. And I think that even with the rotations that Memphis has, I think that their 2-man game, I think is better than Memphis.
Okay. And in the 3 versus 6 matchup, we have the Houston Rockets versus the Sacramento Kings. Who takes this one?
Oh, man. I want to pick Sacramento so bad. I do, because I'm not sure that Houston is there yet. But defensively, I just think that they're so much better. I just think that they're so much better. I think this is a 6-7 game dogfight, and I'm gonna give Houston the edge. Right. I am. I'm gonna give Houston the edge.
They do have a hellacious defense over there.
Yes, I'm gonna give Houston the edge.
I will say this though, Chill. I'm not gonna lie. That's the matchup we're praying for.
Yes.
Yes. In the 4 versus 5 matchup, we have the Dallas Mavericks versus the Denver Nuggets. Who do you got?
I'm taking Denver in that series. I mean, Ox, man, you've had this conversation before, and I stand on it. Teams duck smoke all the time. Right. For those of y'all that don't think so, and those of y'all who talk tough and act tough, just so you know, teams duck smoke all the time. And when Minnesota bounced Denver, Dallas was like, whew, man, I'm so glad we ain't got to see them dudes. Now they're going to have to see them. They don't have an answer for Joker consistently. They don't. And I think that the addition of Russ, I think he makes that offense even better. I think that they beat Dallas in 6 games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so that's the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Who wins these second round matchups? We have the number 1 seed Thunder versus the number 4 seed Nuggets. Who takes this one?
And I know that, and I know how good Joker is, but an extra year, right? An extra year. This Oklahoma City team. I mean, they've handled Denver in the past. Last season when they played Denver, I mean, they handled Denver. As good as Joker was, they ended up handling them. So I'm going to take Oklahoma City in this matchup. I think that offensively, I think that they can rattle Russ. As good as they are defensively, I think they can rattle Russ. I think they can slow down Jamal Murray. And I think the Joker's going to eat. But I think that the guy who has to be solved more than anybody, and I said this when Minnesota had to see Denver, the guy that has to be solved that the Lakers couldn't solve was MPJ. That 6'9", 6'10" shooter on the wing. I think they can solve that. I think Denver can solve that. Jumping him, I think Denver can solve that. Closing out on him, and I think that Oklahoma City beats them in 6 games. Joker eats, though. Joker eats.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely going to do that.
Yep.
Okay, so we got the
no
Thunder.
L9. Before we go any further, no L9. Y'all can't handle Joker. Oklahoma City got the best defense in the league. Hell no, you can't handle him. No. I'll say it one more time for the people in the cheap seats. No, you can't handle Joker. No, you can't. Hell no, you can't. Y'all defense ain't as good as their defense. You don't fly around. You don't have the rotations on Dallas that they have. No, you don't. Hell no, you don't. No.
Right. And guys, I did drop the link in the chat. Click on it now if you want to get up here. I can guarantee you we won't get to the whole lobby, but I'm going to pull up as many people as I can quick, get you in and out so you can give your take on Chill's predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where are we? Okay, so now we're in the second round matchup. Houston Rockets, Los Angeles Lakers. Chill, you said anybody but the Nuggets. You got the Lakers. Does that go for Houston too? You have the Lakers beating the Houston Rockets in the second round?
Beat them, Ox. Yes, I think that they can beat them. That two-man game, and I think this is a series that Anthony Davis dominates.
Yeah,
I think this is a series that we've seen players take over a series, and I think this is a series where Anthony Davis can completely take over that series and dominate. They have nobody on a consistent basis that can slow him down. If you can get guys like Reeves, who actually has been good against Houston this year, if you could get guys like him to knock down open shots, and if you could get these guys to play solid defense, I think Anthony Davis can take over this series. I've seen him take over series in the past. I have.
Okay, y'all. So this is what we got in the West. Let me see. Can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go. We have the number 1 Thunder versus the Mavericks in the first. The Wolves in the first round. Nuggets versus Mavs. Rockets versus Kings. Grizzlies versus Lakers. In the second round, we have the Thunder versus the Nuggets. Rockets versus the Lakers. And in that second round, Chill has the number 1 seed Thunder beating the number 4 seed Nuggets and the number 7 seed Lakers beating the number 3 seed Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Chat, tell me how you feel about this so far. Let us know in the chat. How do you feel about this so far? How do you feel about the seeding? How do you feel about the matchups? And how do you feel about these conference finals?
Mm-hmm.
Thunder versus Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. Cavaliers versus Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what we got so far. Chill. Let's go ahead and finish this thing up. We'll take it back out east. The number 1 seed Cavs against the number 2 seed Celtics. Who wins that matchup, and in how many games do they do it in?
I don't think that the Cavs can consistently slow down the Celtics. Not just their shooting, but the variety of guys that they have. And for some reason, I don't know what it is, but Drew Holiday turns into Horace Grant when he plays against Evan Mobley. I don't know what the hell that's about, Ox. I can't tell you because I don't know what the hell that's about. But he's in the post against Evan Mobley. He's bodying him up. He's beating him up. And I'm thinking to myself, how's a 6'4" guy doing this to a 6'10", 6'11" guy? So in addition to the shooting, in addition to how good they are on defense, I don't think that the Cavs can consistently slow down the Celtics. I think the Celtics beat them in 6 games. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in the West, chill. You said any team but the Nuggets.
Any team but the Nuggets. I like their chances. But
And does that mean you got them beating the Thunder?
I like them against the Thunder, but I think them boys is just too much. I do. I think them kids from Oklahoma City, I think that they're just too much. I think that as good as Anthony Davis will be in this series, because I think he'll dominate this series, just like he dominated the Rockets series. I think he would dominate this series, but I think ultimately, defensively, I think that Oklahoma City would just rattle them on the perimeter and cause too many turnovers, and I think they will ultimately turn the Lakers over, and that's going to be the difference in the series. I'll take the Thunder in 6.
Okay.
Yep.
Now we have for the 2024-25 NBA season, our finals matchup is the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Boston Celtics.
Yep.
Who takes the Larry O'Brien trophy back with them?
I think the Celtics handle them dudes in 6 games. I don't think that they beat them. I think they handle them dudes in 6 games. I can't see as much as I think that you for 1 game or even 2 games, you can slow down Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. I can't see you boxing them dudes up for 4 games. Nah, I can't see that. Not those guys. Not with everything. Not with everything that the Celtics have. And I think the difference in that is going to be as good as I don't know what Chet's going to look like. Right? I don't know what Chet's going to look like come playoff time, even if he's going to be available. But I think Porzingis, if he's healthy, I think he can handle that matchup. I think he can win that matchup. I think that'll be a great matchup, but I think he can win that matchup. And him dragging Chet away from the basket, being able to shoot the long ball, him being able to screen the way he does and getting switches and having smaller guys like Wiggins and Casey Wallace on him. That's what kind of offense that they have. I think that's going to be the difference. And I think they end up beating them. I do.
Okay. Well, y'all heard it here first. We ran through the whole entire playoffs. We ran through the 1 through 8s on both sides. We ran through the second round, ran through the conference finals, and finished up with the finals. And Chill has the Boston Celtics repeat championships. The Boston Celtics. That will be the first repeat since the Golden State Warriors.
That's correct.
Chat, I need y'all to let me know how y'all feel about that in the chat. Y'all let me know. Well, so that was fun. I like that. I like your predictions. They seem pretty reasonable, pretty on par to me. Only one I would change is I think we're gonna beat the Rockets, but that's about it. Let me see. We have another super chat before we get to the lobby from Carlos Hernandez. I'm sorry. He says, I know Denver is good, but do you think they can compete with the Mavs bench this year? Both teams fully healthy?
Yes, I do think that. I do. Just off the strength that Russ is there now. If Russ wasn't there, I think we could have a different conversation. But Russ makes them so much better. Him speeding up that offense, him playing with Christian Brown and Peyton Watson, getting those guys better shots. Like when you play with a point guard like that, that's able to get you better looks and better shots, that just makes life a lot less difficult for you. So yes, I do think that they can compete with your bench.
Oh, chill. Another thing I couldn't believe. No Clippers in the playoffs. I just can't see Kawhi going out like that, chill. Just can't see it.
I don't think he's going to hold up, Ox. That's the problem. I don't think he's going to hold up.
Oh, man, I hate to hear it. Teddy Hart with another super chat. He says, when the Suns inevitably blow it up, where do you think KD's next stop is?
It's going to be in Phoenix. He ain't going nowhere. He's going to be right there in Phoenix. He'll be right there. He ain't going nowhere.
Okay. Well, let's get to the lobby. Guys, we don't got much time, so let's try to get him in, get him out. Well, we'll start with my man, Leaf Diggy. What up, Leaf?
What up, Bobby? What's going on, Bobby? I ain't even gonna talk about that bracket. It sounds like a typical chill term bracket. I ain't even gonna talk about that shit.
This dude, he a hater, yo. He from Brooklyn. What you say? He from Brooklyn.
That don't make me a hater, bro.
Well, you already said it though. You said your exact words to me were, "I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a hater." You said that to me.
No. I said I'm a sore loser. That's what I said.
Okay, that's a hater.
No, it's not a hater. No,
100% a hater.
No, it ain't. No, appreciate it, Tank Jones, by the way, but I'm not gonna get to that bracket. I'm gonna get to the something
That Packers
simple.
hat is
MB,
dope too, by the way. That bracket hat, the Packers hat is dope too, by the way. Anyway, keep going.
appreciate it. Thank you. I buy dope hats all the time, but in terms of what you said about the best player in the world, the reason why Giannis is not, and I said it before and I said it again, is because what happened in the last 2 years in the playoffs. That's the real reason why he's dumbed down to two. I mean, he's been the best player in the league before. He's been the best player in the world before. But I think what we base it off of is the last 3 year basis and the way that players is playing now. Obviously, LeBron, Steph, and Kevin Durant in the last 3 years haven't been nowhere close to what Giannis and Jokic has been. The trajectories that they are on, now that they are champions and Finals MVPs as head honchos of their teams. If you look back at what happened with the Bucks in the last 2 years, that is the reason why Giannis is still number two. I mean, I listen, I understand how Bobby feel about player to player basis, but I mean, shit, what have you done for me lately? And what have you done for me lately, bro, in the postseason?
Can't we
So the
say the same thing
reality,
about Joker? Can't we say the same thing about Joker?
in the last 2 years, they won at least a playoff series and they won a championship. So I mean, in the last 2 years, Giannis has been a MIA in the first round
He
for the
missed the
most
playoffs
part.
last year. He missed the
He
playoffs because
missed
he
the
was hurt.
and yeah, and he missed some a couple of games in that Miami series where Jimmy Butler turned into the second coming of Michael Jordan. So
Hmm.
I mean, that's the reality of that situation. Now,
So
just
winning
to
a
get
playoff series is enough to keep you as the best player in the world. Winning a playoff series because that's what
winning the
Joker
play
did.
winning a playoff series as compared to the other dude that's in competition with you, not MIA, bro. Yeah, that makes you the best player, because that's
Really?
your competition in terms of the best player in the world. I
So
mean,
blowing a
obviously.
20-point lead, blowing a 20-point lead at home in Game 7. I mean, that doesn't bother you at all.
I mean, it does, but I don't. But and compared to your competition, who is Giannis, I don't think that really debunks you under him. You know,
Mm.
especially in the regular season, because everything that you judge them off of is going to be in the postseason now because they champions.
But
I mean, we
you just said you just said everything that Giannis was going off of is the postseason. But Joker, he had one of the biggest collapses in postseason history last season.
He did. I mean,
Okay.
but I don't think that debunks him under Giannis.
All right.
I just don't think
Okay.
so. You know what I'm
All right.
saying? But to one more thing, I think you might have to start walking back some of the 50-win teams that you had in the West. Cause
Sacramento is one of them. Sacramento is one of them.
it's looking scarce now. I will give you credit for Houston, bro. God damn, that's a hell of a damn defense right there.
Mhm.
Ime Udoka is putting his absolute stamp on the team, for sure, for sure. But just to get to the last couple of teams, if the Cavaliers win 70 games and they don't make it to the finals, something is wrong here. Something is clearly wrong here, bro. You got I got them winning 72.
If they win
I
72 games, Donovan Mitchell might be the league MVP. They might have to have that. I'll be. It would be hard. It would be hard. Think about the teams that have won 70 games. The Bulls won 72 games. Jordan, league
Mhm.
MVP.
Right.
Warriors won 73 games. Steph Curry, the league MVP. If the Cavs win 72 games, really?
If they win 70, I think I still think Donovan Mitchell will move up, but I think with the numbers and the effect that SGA has on his team, like you said, on both offense and defense, and his and what he's delivering,
Mhm.
the goods on the stat sheet, I think it's hard to really ignore. Now, right now, Donovan Mitchell ain't even on top 10 lists on no damn on whatchamacallit. And we seen this episode of Friends before, haven't we? Chill.
He's just on. He's just
Wasn't the
on the
Utah
list.
Jazz number one at one point, and he got zero, zero, zero all pro selections. Didn't
That
that
was
happen?
that wasn't legit neither. That was awful.
Yeah, that was very awful. And it's just good. I think we need to start talking about how Donovan Mitchell has effect winning and how he's affected winning since he's gotten in the league. All them Utah teams is playoff teams. All these Cavs teams is playoff teams.
And he won. He's won playoff series too. By the way.
And he's won playoff series and performed in playoff series, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at his playoff resume. It's a damn good resume. But I got to get ready for a playoff game my goddamn self, man.
What time y'all play? What time y'all play?
Damn, what time do we play? Sometime tonight, man. I'll
Y'all got the
figure out.
late game. Okay. All right. Y'all got the late game.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
we do got the late
Well,
game, and if innocent, I don't give a damn. Listen, we get past the Eagles, we winning the whole damn thing. You heard me first.
All
You
right.
get past
You
the
don't gotta
Eagles,
worry.
we
You don't
winning
gotta
the
worry
whole
about
game.
that. You don't gotta worry about that, Leaf.
I ain't nothing. I don't worry at all. Do I look like a worried person to you?
You don't gotta worry about getting
Do
past
I
the
look
Eagles,
like a
but
worried
that ain't
person to you,
happening,
Bobby?
bro.
Bobby, do I look like a worried person to you? I
Hey,
don't
no,
worry
you
about
don't. But
shit.
look, Leaf. Just enjoy the game, bro. Just
That's
enjoy the
it,
game.
brother.
That's all I can
That's
say,
it,
bro.
brother.
In
Later,
the
B.
playoff
But all
time,
right,
I do more than enjoy the game. I
Later.
analyze and I shit on the game, bro. All the
Later.
time. I'm out of here.
Later.
all right, Leaf. Yeah, but you don't gotta worry about beating the Eagles, bro. That ain't happening.
Here's your parting prize. Take it easy, brother. Thanks for coming.
Right.
We appreciate you.
Right, for
Mhm.
sure. We got a couple minutes left. Let's get Classic up here before we get out of here. What's up, Classic?
Yo, what up, guys? How y'all doing?
What up?
All right.
What up? What up? Yeah, real quick, I just got two things. The Clippers. I agree with you, Ox. I think the Clippers are going to make the playoffs. I think they're better without Kawhi. Like Norman Powell said, it's addition by subtraction. And then I want to give a shout out to you, Ox, and the Kings, man, because I thought y'all were finished at first. And then I remember when the news dropped about them firing Mike Brown, like for a second you was like, nah, they shouldn't have done it. And then you kind of like caught yourself, but you was like, nah, this might be a good thing. And I've always felt like sometimes coaches they hold their job too long, but the Mike Brown firing that kind of like confirmed it for me that sometimes you just gotta fire a coach to bring new energy to the organization. And I think a lot of teams should do that. Like going to football, if the Steelers lose tonight, they need to go ahead and fire Mike Tomlin. I think the Warriors they should fire Steve Kerr.
Fire
I
Mike
think the Heat,
Tomlin?
yeah, man, they spend this mediocrity for too many years, man. They need to get some new life into the organization. Like think about the Kings. They just fired Mike Brown. Their season was cooked. Now they're on a 6 game winning streak. So I think that'd be good for the Steelers. I think if the Warriors fired Steve Kerr, I think that can bring some new life to their organization. I think the Heat, I think they should probably think about letting go of Eric Spoelstra. So I think a lot of franchises need to
Yo,
look
wait a
into
second.
get rid of some
No,
coaches.
he right. He just wants change. That's all it is. That's all it is. He just wants
Yo,
change.
wait. There's chill. There's change and then there's insanity.
Yeah, but he just wants change. That's all it is. He thinks that because the way we're going right now, if we change this up, we can go in a different direction. Does that mean that we're going in the right direction if we change this up? No, but we're just going in a different direction. So he just wants change.
Yeah, but chill. You fire Mike Tomlin?
You're not gonna win a Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin right now. You might as well just go ahead and let him go and get like another coach. I remember, it's only been 3 coaches in Steelers history. And I think all of them has won Super Bowls. Maybe it's time for that new era.
Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe maybe it was just the initial shock of me hearing you say that. I don't know, but I'm just like firing Mike Tomlin, firing Eric Spoelstra. Those are just things I wasn't expecting to hear today. So forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. I was not expecting.
I don't understand why you got to fire your coach. I don't get it.
Right.
If you haven't lost the crew, there's no reason to fire the coach. None.
Yeah, I think the crews have been lost though, and I think the Kings have showed us that Mike Brown lost them, and now
Okay.
they got new energy, and now they're
Yep.
about to get into the playoffs.
Yep.
Like you said, they're only 4 games away from the 2 seed.
Mm-hmm. 3 actually.
Yeah, 3.
Three.
So
Three.
I think
I think 3
that
games up
new
the 4th
energy
spot.
can really change an organization.
I know what they ain't lose. Mike Tomlin hasn't lost that crew. They still on board with him.
I don't know, man.
They've
George
had bad
Pickens,
drafts.
do
They've
you
had
see how
bad
George
drafts.
Pickens be acting when he doesn't get the ball? I feel like a new coach maybe can help that.
Is that not a Pickens problem? Is that a Mike Tomlin problem? Like if you're gonna
But
out when you're gonna
Mike
get the
Tomlin,
ball,
he
is
has
that the coach's
history.
fault?
He has a
Like
history of
what happened? What happens
letting receivers.
if the Steelers? What happens if the Steelers beat the Ravens?
Well, I don't
Which I
think that's
don't
going
think
to
they're
happen.
gonna. They
But
should beat. They
if
should
they
handle
do beat
Pittsburgh.
the Ravens, then I guess he can keep his job. But I don't think that's going to happen. I can't even see a world where that happens.
Right.
No, I don't. They shouldn't. Pittsburgh should not beat Baltimore. If they do, then we got a problem. Huge problem.
Yeah, if Pittsburgh beat Baltimore, then John Harbaugh needs to be fired.
Damn, bro, you just asking everybody today.
Yeah, he wild, yo. Yeah, he wild for that.
Well, I Classic. I'm sorry it took me so long to get you up here. We had a lot to do today. You know what I'm saying? It was a heck of a show, nonetheless.
Yep.
But I do got to let you go. Claire
appreciate
is
you guys having me.
blowing
You
up
have a
my
good one.
phone as we speak.
All right, Claire. My phone.
All right,
I had to turn the
Classic.
ringer off. I had to turn it down because she done called 3 times already.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hey, chill. Like I said, when I woke up this morning, the last thing I expected to hear was fire Eric Spoelstra and fire Mike Tomlin. That just threw me off. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
Maybe
tell.
I don't know. Maybe he might be on to something, but I just need to.
He
think
might
that
be. I
through.
mean, change is inevitable. Let's be clear
Right.
about that, Ox. Change is inevitable. Things are not going to just stay the same forever. No, eventually we're going to have to go in a different direction. I can appreciate that, but there are some things that just are. Like Mike Tomlin, it's Pittsburgh. That wasn't Mike Tomlin's fault that they drafted that kid from Pittsburgh and he couldn't play quarterback. That's not Mike Tomlin's fault. I mean, they were playing with Justin Fields. I'm not a fan. I think that Russell Wilson is washed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they should be developing Justin Fields. That's just me. But firing Eric Spoelstra, man, that's a rally issue more than anything.
Yeah.
You fire Eric Spoelstra, and you better be able to replace him with something substantial, and it better work immediately. It better not be nothing where you fire Eric Spoelstra and then we're at the bottom of the East for 4 or 5 years. Hell no, I ain't trying to hear that. Nope.
Yeah, firing Eric Spoelstra. That's not something I'm willing to even consider. But
I'm not, yo. No, I don't even want to have that conversation. No.
Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about we are sending out indictments on everybody.
Next, like when we in the meeting, okay, Coach. I'm sorry, Ox. I think we should talk about moving on from Eric Spoelstra. Next,
get him out of here.
What else? What else we have to talk about? Next, we ain't listening to that. No.
Right. If I'm the owner of a team, and if Pat Riley comes to me talking about, I think I'm about to get rid of Spo, you're fired instantly, Pat. Okay,
we getting rid of you.
Yeah, you're senile, brother.
You the problem around here.
Right.
Hell no.
Well, PC fam, it was another amazing show. Chill with Chill. Y'all know where to find us. We'll be back on Monday with the panel. Catch us on playback. Just stay tuned, man. The season is in full swing. All-Star games right around the corner. This is when the season gets. I mean, I think it's great in October, but this is when things really start getting a little more active. We're real quick. I am a W host, so I'm gonna read the super chat before I let y'all go. Got a super chat from my man Kent Linscomb Jr. He says, "I don't see how Giannis isn't the clear best player in the league."
35, 15, and 12 said something different last night. That's how. So that's it right there.
Yeah, 23 and 28 says something different too.
That clear enough for you, Kent? All right, you might want to clean your glasses off a little bit. 35, 12, and 15 last night said something different. So that's all I got to say about that.
Well, Chill, you want to get us out of here?
Absolutely, guys. It was good to see you guys. You know where to find us. We're not here. We're on the panel, 11 to 2, Monday to Friday. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. The last time you talk to your mother, call your mother. And if you're ever in the Portland area and you had too much to drink, pick up the telephone. My man he will not leave you out there. Here comes Scoop. He got you covered. So we will see you guys soon. Until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys. Be easy. Right.
See y'all on Monday. Oh, also don't forget, go to playerschoicemerch.com. Grab some merch.
Check us out, yo.
See y'all.
Check us out, man. We ain't hard to find. Absolutely.